Alright, so quick guide on ranch pals and why Mao might actually be the best money-making pal in the game in terms of time spent for the player. So we're gonna start by just looking at some basics for ranch pals in this quick guide. We have the work speed passives and souls added to pals. And the first thing is work speed does work on ranch pals. It's worked since around Sakurajima. And then you can see that adding souls gives about 11% buff to the production, not that 60% you're supposed to have. And then the passives 175 turns into around 93%. But then when you stack them together with each other, if you have a nocturnal or serious, it's around that 115 and 130%. So only around a 7% production difference for nocturnal and all the transport issues that it can create. So then we move on and just look at the ranch pals themselves. So these are the ranch pals and what kind of item they can produce. And then sort of the gold value for selling this item to a merchant, except for gold, which you just won't sell, you will just keep that. So then you have how many sort of cycles the pal will do per hour, and then the gold per hour for the value of that. So most ranch pals drop the same amount, like on average 3 when they are at 4 stars. And then you have stuff like Chikipi, Musarina, Kremis, and Alpaca dropping 4, Soothsayer being naturally nocturnal. Stuff like that can affect the drop rates a little, but for most of them you have around these like 287 drops in 64 minutes, which is just 2 full days that I used for the test. So it's similar for all ranch pals. They either drop 3 or 4 on average per cycle, really, there to compare them. And Doomwood Guild just being a little higher value on average. And then we have the drop rates for Vixy, just the max star Vixy as well, included that per hour, running that max work speed build as well. So per hour you can expect maybe 1 sphere every other hour or so of the hyper spheres. Not great loot there. And then the thing that often looks bad for ranch pals compared to something like Legendary Sphere Factory, you got the coin maker as well, is just how much gold per hour or value per hour the base can produce. If you compare like 10 Doomed Guilds and then you have your transport pals to a Sphere Factory, it's a lot lower. But if you actually start comparing the time spent for the player, ranches look pretty good again. So if you got something like the Legendary Spheres, you craft these like 7 clicks or whatever, it takes around 30 seconds. You get the Legendary Sphere Gold and you can buy a ton of high quality pal oil for that. So you can actually buy like 14 hours of 10 Dooms production in just 1 cycle of crafting Legendary Spheres, selling them, and then buying the high quality pal oil for that amount of money. So just in terms of raw pace, the Legendary Sphere Factory does produce like more gold, but then you have to account for more player action. It's not as passive. You are having to re-queue all these machines, buy from merchants and stuff like that. If you're just looking at this sort of pace, you got like the time spent, 30 seconds to do this. So 30 seconds for that amount of gold for selling 999. You get a gold per hour average. Then also comparing that to the gold coin assembly line, you get a gold coin per hour there. It takes around 10 seconds to queue up the 3 steps, and you make almost 1 million gold per queue. But then if you look at just having like a bunch, like 10 to 15 mouse in a base, look how fast that was. Just 1 second to pick up the loot. So if you look at how much money you get from 10 mouse in 24 hours in a base, and then spending 1 second picking them up, it's actually more efficient to have your 10 mouse or whatever many ranch pals you have. Just have those 10 mouse, and you can see just comparing these numbers with the sphere and the gold making machine. In terms of players spent, like 1 second picking up the gold, it's a lot more gold efficient than queuing up all those machines. It's just gonna take longer time, but you don't need that much money. Like the gold made from a bunch of mouse or Doomed Guilds, even just queuing up those polymers included. It's a bit more chill. So it depends really on if you need like millions of money right now. You can do the spheres and the gold maker. But in terms of just raw player input and just being like chill mode, Mao actually wins out quite a bit. Turning it into, for me at least, you don't need that much money, one of the best gold making options in the game. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.